Hi, church family. Pastor Eric here with today's Word from the Word. And as we continue to look at 1 Corinthians chapter 13, right in the middle of that chapter, there's a big list of the ways that love demonstrates itself. Love is an internal thing that only God knows the heart for, and we know what we're thinking or feeling. But the chapter does tell us there are ways that love manifests itself, this agape love, this other-centered love. And the Apostle Paul, under the inspiration of the Spirit, lists about 15 different things that are a great checklist. I talked about when I preached on the passage, the idea that I was working on being kind, being softer in my speech and not blunt or rude. As a matter of fact, that's also one of the traits is love is not rude. But as you look through that list, you start talking about it's patient. Love is patient. It's willing to let others catch up, or it's not willing to become frustrated because it cares more about other people than your own expectations or your own wants. It also says that love not only is kind, but it doesn't envy. Envy is wanting what somebody else has. I think one of the great ways that's ever been described is it's when I don't get what I was hoping for, but I'm happy that the other person got it instead of me. I'm happy for them. I'm pleased for them. And it shows a great care and an other-centeredness for something that you may have wanted, whether it was a promotion or a raise or increased responsibilities or just maybe things around the house that you wish you had and somebody else got. Somebody else got the new power tools. Somebody else got the new dish set. But are you happy for them, or are you bothered that you didn't get it when in fact they did? It also talks about not being proud or boastful. There's two kind of sides to a coin where we lift ourselves up. And it kind of manifests itself when sometimes we're feeling insecure and we have the need to cast ourselves in the best light possible with other people around us. Rather than saying, I'm living to please God, I'm living for God, and it'll speak for itself, we need to kind of trumpet or speak out about the things that we've done or the things that we do well. And that kind of pride is very self-centered. There is a pride that is biblical, and you find it in Galatians chapter 6, verse 5. It says, "Then one can take pride in himself without comparing himself to someone else." In other words, biblical pride, a legitimate righteous pride, is when you say, I've done the best I can. I feel very satisfied with my effort, and I take satisfaction in what has been accomplished because it was done for the kingdom, it was done for God, it was the best of my abilities, and I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. The passage also talks about honoring or respecting other people. It means that we can have differences of opinion. We can have different conclusions or different convictions. And we can still love and honor each other while saying, we agree to disagree, as long as we're disagreeing about non-essential things. About the essential things, if somebody wants to come up and say, you need to believe what I believe, that Jesus Christ was not the Son of God and the means for our salvation, then we're going to disagree. And I'm not okay with saying, I respect the way you're going. I may accept it, but I certainly am not going to agree with it. And it's not one of those matters that we can say, well, whatever works best for each person. That's not true. But respecting other people and their convictions, we have many of them in our churches, in our theological lives, in the way we live our lives, how we do relationship. There are lots of different ways to do those things, and we can honor and respect each other. But honoring and respecting somebody doesn't mean that I just give in to them or I do what they say because they think it's best. And we have that mutual affection and care and honor for each other. We do, in fact, live in unity, which speaks to one of the basic elements, and that's that love is not self-seeking. In other words, we've talked over and over again about how true agape love, godly love, is other-centered. It cares more about people than it does about ourselves. And that self-seeking attitude is one that will cause great division within a church. I love what it says next. It says, love is not easily angered. Well, what does that mean? It doesn't say that love isn't angered. God gets angry, and yet God is love. So obviously there's appropriate times when it is loving to be angered. So what does that look like? James tells us that we should be slow to anger. It doesn't say we should never become angry. It says we should be slow. Ephesians says, in your anger, do not sin. So it's possible to be angry and not sin. We can prove that easily. Jesus got angry, and yet we know he was without sin. Well, how do we do it? What does it mean to be not easily angered? It means that our anger only comes when we take offense up for God and his righteousness. I was reminded of a situation recently where I had a gentleman who was just trying to teach out and out untruth to a group of people I was doing Bible study with. And it was an interesting moment because that group of people saw me get angry like very few see me get angry. I will become very bothered and very angry when something is out and out wrong or contradictory to the gospel. And I will fight vigorously and I will fight ferociously for the truth of the gospel that is plain, that's not to be compromised, and I will protect the flock with everything that I have. So I think there are times to be legitimately angry, but not times where I can enter into sin because I'm somehow justifying my anger. The other side of the equation is that it keeps no record of wrongs. Forgiveness is key to true godly love. It doesn't hold on to those hurts and those pains because those become bitterness and they color our whole world. They color every way we look at the other person or even all of life itself. I feel very sorry for individuals who've been caught up in professions where they see so much bad in life because of what they do that it becomes very hard to see the good in life. And the scriptures call us to be people who look for the good. We don't keep record of wrongs against others. And we're not bitter against the world or the way we've been treated. We trust God and we trust his care for us. We certainly don't delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. And the idea is that when truth is proclaimed, when truth is said, we get excited because it's God's character being reflected to those around us. It says love always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, it always perseveres. It's there. True biblical love, other-centered love, means you're there for the other person. All of these wrap up to be great aspects in which we can demonstrate that at the heart of our minds and our souls, we are exhibiting that other-centered love that God calls us to. If there's something in that list where you need to kind of up your game or you need to ask God for guidance or for the ability to exercise it and demonstrate it better, I encourage you to pray to do so. If you don't feel that's working, find some friends or come and visit the pastoral staff or the elders and ask for advice and accountability. We do it with one another, and we encourage you to do it with those that you trust as well. I hope it gives you something to think about. I hope that your day is a blessed day. God bless.